Hello teacher, hello classmates, hello everybody. Today we will talk about task to assessment to evaluate oral and writing. First, the assessment and scoring rubrics are well as to estimate students' ability to speak, write or read. Or in this case, for example, is speak and writing. Okay, and then next. Next, oral assessment. The rubrics allow students to understand how they will be evaluated and the skills that will be taken into account at the end of them. Okay, and next, the question is why use evaluate rubrics in oral and writing evaluations task? The first idea is Eileen goals, then easy to qualify the activities, identify the skills that quite difficult for students, and focuses of improving the preparation of student work about the activity, about the exercises. And the next type of assessment tasks is analytic and logistic rubrics. In analytic rubrics, the evaluation and assessment of different parts of the activity processed. And finally, grade is the sum of the individual ones. Is more in these rubrics is more specific of each activity in the task. There is a feedback in each criterion, which allows students to carry out this activity in more detail, and allowing them to see if they meet of the objective and what needs to improve. And the next is logistic rubrics. In logistic rubrics there are of analogies of words by teacher of the entire activity without jungling each activity individual. It's not more specific, it's more creative for the students. The teacher errors can be tolerated in some parts of the process. However, in the end, grade depends of creative of each student's work. And fast evaluation with all specific the evaluation and punctuation of each element of the activities. For example, in this case, I prepared example is the objective is to observe and identify the types of films that exist in addition to being able to connect and express their opinion about the image. Okay, the image is, sorry, I can share very well my screen. The image is Spider-Man movie. Okay, in base this and imagine and identify the then give the opinion that what type of movie is, and they like most what movie what type of movie they like and why. In addition, make a brief summary where the characters, the plot, and then in the end are exposed. Exposed. Okay. Analytic rubric about exercise and before. Okay. The total score um, is according the evaluation and for the rubric. For example, the students present work exemplarity. For example, the presentation is careful, organized, and provides convincing evidence to support the conclusions about the type of movie that they like. The punctuation are 6 to 8, but only the students present below expectative, or for example it's not organized, it's not used as the correctly verbs or grammar, or is not correct the vocabulary, and the punctuation are from 0 to 2. And, next, some the punctuations. For example, in this case, 8 points and about the content is, for example, the content is complete in aquarium. 10, okay, 10 plus 8 plus 9, and the total is 19. For example, 19 for 19 for 20 points is the total score about this student. Everything depends. It depends of the content, the style, and organization, and the work. Okay, is logistic rubric example, and the objective for this example is analyze it and correctly with the ideas, grammarly rooms, and connectors later in the unit. Make an explanatory paragraph or graph about the contamination of beach in the world. Remembers that the paragraph must have an introductory idea, then explain the problem, the possible consequence, and finally the conclusion and solution about this problem. Remember, the text must have at least 350 words. And the rubric is the student present exits criteria. For example, I provides implement support and detailers, support and solution, and argument about contamination, the contamination of the beach, and the consequence, the problems, and the effects. It's the point is for the points for. Okay, then other students present the meets criteria. Point 3 because organization is better is logical, convinces and competence. One less with the with the labs list. And complete the next paragraph, next idea is, for example, students present used criteria, used effective language, make an engaging appropriate word choice for audience and procures. The points are 4 points for this item. And another students present the ideas does not following rules on understand English because the students don't use the grammar, the correct grammar, or don't use the correct vocabulary about contaminations, about the consequence of contaminations, about the conclusions. The conclusion is not clear, and the introduction is not here in the paragraph. In this case, the students have 1 point in this activity. And thank you very much. Bye, teacher.